We've talked about how many houses to look at, what type of properties to look at, but what should you actually be looking for when you go and tour these properties? Stick around and we're going to tell you. I'm AJ Baduk, and this is
Andrew Armonger.
And we're with the Emerald Group right around the Emerald Coast. And we are doing videos every week from Pensacola to Panama City Beach and everywhere in between. So if you have any interest or questions about the area, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time we do another video. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
We are getting calls, texts, emails, reached out to out in public. Sometimes y'all recognize us, and that's really cool. We love that. Feel a little celebrity-like. They so recognize us. They can see you a lot better than they can see me. You're like tower above the crowd. But anyways, we love it. Like, keep reaching out to us. Even if you see us out in public, we love that stuff. So let's jump right in. Mongo.
So whenever you are touring a property, the main thing you need to be looking out for as a buyer is that you actually like the property. I know that is common sense, but I want you to take your list of what you want on a property, your needs, whatever. If you're a list person, you can actually write them out or just bring them in your head. I want a 2-car garage, 3 beds, 2 baths, room for my kid to play out back, and whatever your criteria is, and try to imagine yourself living in that home. Does it match all of that criteria? Before we get into all the other things you should be looking for, I just want to start there because that is hands down the most important thing. If there are things wrong with the property as you see them down the road, you can always try to negotiate them to get fixed. But now let's get into some of the things that you should be looking for once that feeling is matched.
When you're looking at it to make sure that you actually like it, consider, will your furniture fit? And did you budget for new furniture? If not.
This is one of those things that I am actually very torn on.
Yeah.
Because I see people do it all the time. And sometimes I'm like, absolutely makes sense. You're in love with your couch. Make sure your couch fits. Because that's like a real thing. Like, a lot of people spend a decent amount of time on the couch. Like, okay, cool. But there's like the other side of me where I'm like, yeah, but you could just buy other furniture if you needed to. So maybe not base the whole decision on that. Maybe just like 80% of it. And then 20% leave a little bit of flexibility because maybe you'll find a better couch. I don't know.
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace has a lot of decent furniture a lot of times. So if you have the ability, you have some cash on hand, or you will have some cash on hand, and that's not so big of, a heavy criteria thing, then, no big deal. And I like that you mentioned the whole 80% thing, because that's actually kind of a rule that we go by. No house is ever going to be 100% exactly what you want. Even if you build it, I guarantee you, as soon as it's done, even while it's being done, you're like, I think later on we're probably going to do this to it, or we're probably going to do this to it. No house is ever going to be 100%. It just isn't. So when you're looking at properties, try to go by the 80% rule. Now, stepping into things a little bit more critically, please keep in mind, I caveat this with, we are not inspectors by any stretch of the imagination.
And your real estate agent probably isn't either if it's not us. There are some that are also inspectors, but those hats are not on at the same time. Please keep that in mind.
But there are some dead giveaways that you can be on the lookout for yourself. So if you're touring a property, take a gander up at the ceiling. Are there any discolorations? Especially if it's a 2-story, are there any discolorations in the ceiling, specifically under a bathroom maybe? Are there watermarks on the floor? Are there, you can look for holes in the walls, things of that nature. When you're touring around outside, is there, huge, holes in the ground, essentially next to the foundation where water is piling up? All these different things that you can just be looking. Also, windowsills. So you can look in there for moisture as well. That'll give you a good indication whether a window is leaking. And a lot of these things, sometimes they've already been handled or they're very easy to handle, but it's still a good thing to know in the event that that's something that's like huge on your mind. Or if you can just expect that it's going to come up in the inspection report, because we absolutely always recommend getting an inspection on any property that you purchase.
So really all you're doing here is just kind of getting a little bit of an insight into what the offer needs to look like if this is the right home for you. At least when it comes to the minor stuff. Now, if you see something major or something like that, then, that's going to take into account too. But if you know that, hey, you know what, we're in a competitive marketplace, I would rather get a little bit more off the price because interest rates are a little bit higher than usual now, and I'd rather do the repairs myself in that case, then that's how you structure your offer, is to go, okay, I'm offering you a little bit less. We're going to do as is. We know that this and this needs to be done. We saw a leak over here. We're okay handling all of that as long as we get a better price for the property. Another couple of things when we're looking at the property objectively, to add on to what you were saying, is first, the leaks were really good. The most common place that I see leaks, though, are actually in the closets. That's because when you're in the living room, it's obvious, it's there. It grows over time. And whenever we're doing listing appointments with somebody that wants to sell their house, we look at it and we go, oh, yeah, we'll fix that. Okay, cool. They fix that one. They don't see the one that's sitting in the master closet, or, a hallway closet is another big one. So sometimes you can have these pretty small leaks there. And then also check for leaks in all of the piping. So one of the big things that you'll generally see one of us do if you are home shopping with anybody here at the Emerald Group is we're opening up underneath the sink. We're seeing, is there anything dripping? More importantly for me, but not necessarily all other people, is there cockroach poop? Because I don't want cockroaches, okay, for me personally. And I'm going to tell you if I think there's cockroaches or rat or anything else, just any sort of feces down there, we are going to notify you from that. But that is something that you can look out for as well if your agent's not doing it.
And something else that I've actually seen go undetected and is kind of scary is little black dots near windowsills. Has a tendency to be an indicator for termites and can even be overlooked by inspectors, and then come to find out there's an entire wall of termites active right there. So little tips and tricks, to just kind of keep your eyes open. Once you've gone through the property and you're like, yeah, this is really nice. I could absolutely live here or purchase this. This meets all my requirements. Let's do a quick, walk around again, looking, for the discolorations. Are the windows fogged up? Are screens missing? Are there leaks? Is there fecal matter somewhere?
What does a roof look like? We didn't talk about that,
Yeah, discoloration in the roof itself as opposed to on the interior and the ceiling, looking at it from the outside. And also the soffit. Is the soffit intact, or are there critters getting up into the attic chewing on things?
Definitely a lot of things to look at. Your home inspector will help with this. But as we mentioned before, this is purely just so you can forecast what's the condition of the home and then what is it worth to me based on the current condition.
And also, like you said, and how to structure the offer. Because if you walk in and the house is amazing, maybe it's a newer property and everything just looks like it's still in pristine condition, you're like, I feel comfortable with an as-is offer, still going to do an inspection, have the right to walk away after the inspection if there's something that there's no way we could have seen, okay? But if there are things that we see right off the bat and you're like, I'm going to want that fixed, like the AC is leaking or something of that nature, then we know that it's not going to go on an as-is contract. We're going to put it on a standard FAR bar where you have a repair limit that you can indicate, or like you said previously, lower the offer amount because you already anticipate X amount of dollars towards repairs.
So definitely a lot of different options you can do. Hopefully your real estate professional, if it's not us, is helping you with all of that. If it is one of us, well, you'll have a second pair of eyes to look for all of this stuff. We appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, all of our contact information is on the screen. As always, we would love to help. And I guess we'll see you next week.